We're looking here at the HTML file for the Declaration of Independence. What we need to do in this file is to come down to where there needs to be an unordered list. And that begins on about line 16. The first thing we should do is just look at this list and understand how it's put together. The first several lines begin with "he has." Of course, this is in reference to the King of England. He has done some things, he has done some other things, and so on. All these paragraphs begin with he has, and so on. All the way down until we get to about line 40. It says he is combined with others. So the king was working with some other people in order to do some things that were bad. Well, what were they doing? They were quartering large bodies. They were protecting them by mock trials and so on. All of these little items that come into the category of a sublist begin with the word for. And we have several of those. And then, after we get through with all of the items in the for list, then it goes back to that original pattern of he has done this, he has done that, and he's done more. So what we need to do is to create an unordered list, but then we need to nest all of these sublist items into a sublist of their own. The very first thing we can do is wrap all of this in an unordered list. Control-Shift-A, put all of that in an unordered list and press Enter. Control-S to save. We've got that done. Now we need to come up to each of these items. Every one of these are going to be a list item. The ones that are in the most important are that first level list, and even the ones that are going to be down here in the secondary or sublist. These all have to be list items. So let's just go ahead and do all of that right now. Select them all. Control-Shift-A. And remember, we have a whole series of things to do. So we're going to type LI and then the multiplier symbol without anything after it and press Enter. And that automatically puts the list item or LI tags around every one of these. Now in the browser we should see this reflected. Control-S to save. And there you see it. We have one big, long, unordered list. But in the middle of this unordered list, we can see these items here that all begin with the word for that really should be a sublist. So what we'll do is find these here in our code, find where that list begins. For me, it's on about line 30. It's right after the paragraph where it says, he has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution, and so on. Now, all of these four items are really a sublist to this last item right up here. He is combined with others. So since these that begin with the word for all belong together under this one list item up here, then what we have to do is we have to put this nested list inside of this list item right here. What I'm going to do is come to the very end of that and right before the closing LI tag, and I'm just going to press Enter to drive that closing LI tag down one line. Since we're going to put an unordered list inside of this list item, then we'll come in right here on that blank line and type UL and press Tab. And that creates an unordered list, opening and closing tag. Right between the opening and closing UL tags, I'll press Enter. And then what we'll do, I'm going to select all of these four list items, all of them. And then I'm going to use on my Windows computer, hold down the Alt key and then press the up arrow until it gets right below the opening UL tag that you see here on line 30. Notice that they're all indented. We do have an extra line at the bottom and we can just take that out. And we're done. Control-S to save. When you're finished, you should always see a typical pattern of code layout. At the beginning of the sublist, you see an opening LI tag. When we look for the closing LI tag for that list item, it must always be down below the closing UL tag. After that first opening LI tag, you should always see an indented opening UL tag. Then at the bottom of the sublist, after the last list item, you will see a closing UL tag followed by that closing LI tag. If you have nested your sublist properly, you should always see this pattern in your code. By the way, you'll see the same pattern in your code regardless of whether you're using an unordered list or an ordered list. They all work the same. That's how you can create a nested list of items inside of another list. The only thing you have to be careful about here is deciding where the sublist goes. In this case, it is a sublist to this list item in the primary or that first level list that says he has combined with others, and then in order to do all of these things. And we're done.